Hello everyone and welcome to another wicked gameplay episode. Today we're in XPlane and we're looking at the fantastic SoulMade Simulations Beaver. This is the Havilland Beaver. It is a really nice aircraft, and I know this one was a long time coming, but it is beautifully done, and I'm going to try and keep my movement here in the water to a minimum because yeah, it can be a little bit stressful on my my little i5 processor here, at least until I do my upgrade. So we're going to check out more of the aircraft in the air from the outside, but what we're going to do is have a little look at this particular aircraft, and it is really nice. So let's just jump inside and see what it looks like. So I should also mention, now that we're inside here, we're actually at ZOF, which is, if I just get the map up here, let's check that out. Okay, so we're at Ocean Falls, and we're going to be doing just a short trip really. It's maybe about 20 minutes or so. We're going to be traveling out of Ocean Falls. We're going to head sort of down in this direction around 130 degrees. It's about 122 actually. We're going to cross this first river, and then the second river we're going to make a left turn to around 38 degrees, and we're going to head all the way up this river here, follow it around and come into this inlet, fly in and basically come in and land on this runway here, just making our way in. So we're not going to be looking at the wind or anything, but you can see here we're just going to come in and make a landing in here at Bella Coola. It's going to be pretty cool. Okay, so since we're in here, let's have a little look around this aircraft. You can see here we've got our yoke, we've got our guy here that we can actually see. I'm not really sure why he's there actually. I don't normally see him. Get my view there, and let's just check out some of the panels. So we've got these pop-up panels here. We've got the options panel, and we also have an autopilot panel. So we've got a pilot view, a co-pilot view, IFR radios, and I apologize for not being able to see that, but let's check out the options in a second. We'll just put this up in the corner. So the actual radios is a very simple radio panel. The switches panel down the bottom here, engines, gauges, the second lot of gauges for fuel and cylinder head temperature, etc. The electronics panel, or electrical panel. We also have some passenger views, which is pretty cool, and this is configured for 2 rows of passengers and a small cargo area in the back here, so you can actually look at all those different passengers. We've also got the trim control and the primer down the bottom here, which is pretty cool. We've got the external views, left and right wings, tail, underbelly, the left side and the right side. So yeah, all really cool. So that's our views. I just didn't want to get that. Okay, let's have a look at some of the options here. And I might just jump outside to do this. Okay, we've got the pilot door, the co-pilot door for the other side, left passenger, right passenger doors. So you can see they're all open, and we have a wave limit here, so this just limits the wave size. Now because we're flying the amphibian version, the amphibious version here, we also get this amphibious docking version, so that just means that we can maneuver the plane with our yoke and our rudder pedals. If I shut all these doors and I move my yoke back, you can see we can maneuver the aircraft into the position we want. If I move to the left and right, we can do that, and if I use my rudder pedals, we can actually turn the direction front, the yaw of the aircraft. So that basically is that. So if we jump back in the aircraft here and we look at the back, we can see we're configured for 2 rows of passengers. We can actually set up the configuration here, so a passenger cargo area or just all cargo if that's what we're kind of looking for. So there are all the options there, and then the third option here is the autopilot. That just gives us a little pop-up, so we've got the approach, etc. And you can see that is down here. Okay, so let's go through some of my views. We've got the switches. We've already been through these, I guess. So you can see I've just set these up on my buttons, and these are basically all the default views. Okay. Now, okay, so we're going to make this short trip. Let's just get started. So we've got the magneto switch is off. That's just down here. Here's a magneto switch. Parking brake is set, so we have a parking brake. here. And I don't know if I really always like that on, but that's basically in the amphibious mode. It gives you the anchor deploy. I don't know if that affects the amphibious docking or not. I don't know, it doesn't really look like we're moving, but you can see that we do have a parking brake. Controls are free and correct, so if we look outside we can see, oops, you can see what happens with the amphibious on. It does actually allow you to do that unless you turn it off. The trim is as required. Yeah, but it looks okay to me, I guess. That's kind of going to leave it there. All switches are off, which they are down here. They're all in the off position. Battery and alternator master switch is on, so let's just turn that on right now. Oops. And I really like the sounds in this aircraft. You hear that nice whiner, the power actually wind up, which is really cool. Also should point out the little rudder panels on the back here. The back, you get down here, you can see they're in the water. They allowed us to steer. That is controlled by this. You can see that they're now up the back here of the floats. So we just have them down so we can steer the aircraft when we're taxiing on the water. Battery and altimeter, battery and alternator master switch are on, which they are. Fuel quantities check. So let's just see, do I have that? We've got plenty of fuel. We've got 3 tanks, front, middle and rear, so they're all like about, got enough fuel there. Altimeter set, we're going to assume that this is correct. I'm pretty sure that we're just 299 at 2, and if we look at that, that's about where it is. Communication equipment set, radio switch on. Here's your radio switch here. So we'll turn our power on. Now let's have a look. Landing lights. We've got our primer switch down there. That's actually what we didn't look at. Our primer switch is down here. Priming the engine. So we'll come down here. Let's turn our beacon light, should already be on. Got our starter coil and booster. Navigation lights and strobe lights, check. Panel map lights. So we have panel map lights over here. We've got the instrument lights here, that sort of thing. Cabin crew light, map lights, all those if we want them. And the sounds of the switches are really cool. I like them. Now, before starting the engine, propeller area is clear. So we would yell clear. I'll just set my throttle quadrants up here. Propeller area is clear, which it is. Battery master switch is already on. Alternator master switch is on. Fuel and emergency cutoff lever are open. So if we look down here, actually, these didn't actually have a view set up for this. This is our fuel cutoff here. We've got our wobble pump to pump fuel, and this is our carb heat and cabin heat here, but I never really use that. So fuel selector set to fullest tank. They're all about the same. So this you can actually rotate like so. Guess it doesn't really matter, and I always get confused which is the on position, but this is definitely not off. So I'm going to leave it like that. I don't remember if the skinny side or the fat side. I assume that it's going to use the front tank by using the skinny point. I keep mixing that up. Okay, so we've got our fuel selector selected to the fullest tank. Now we want to set the mixture to full rich, so let's do that. We can see our mixture goes to full rich. Throttle lever open 1/4 to 1/2 inch, so let's do that. Build fuel pressure with wobble pump or use the fuel pump maximum of 5 psi. So we've got our fuel pressure here. You can see the little green bar there. We can actually use this. Does this actually work? Yep, you can see as I don't really have much leverage on this lever, but you can see if I do this, it is pumping the fuel up, and we want to get it to about there. Build up to about a maximum of 5 psi. Primer. As required, 4 strokes with OAT above 0 degrees, 6 to 8 strokes below 0 degrees. Starter and boost core switch are on. Let's just do a little bit of the primer here while we're here, just so you can see what this looks like. Cool. And that looks good. So we could turn the starter coil on. So actually we want to set the magnetos here on. So we can actually turn the fuel booster on. This should start winding the engines. There we go. We actually are started fairly quickly. I should also point out that we're the scenery here is the Inside Passage by Tom Curtis, so that's what we're actually using here. And I'm a bit surprised the aircraft's not actually moving. Sometimes I've had it where it's just going, the aircraft just starts more or less taking off, and I'm not really all that familiar with amphibious aircraft. Okay, so we've done all that. That's all looking good. See our cylinder head temperature down here. I'll put this on which view? Here. Cylinder head temperature here is going to be warming up. And that's basically that. So we want to set our flaps. And you can see as I put my flaps up, let's move them to first position. We've got our flap indication here. So probably just want to put that one more to take off. And here we are. Okay, so let's just set our heading here to my notes here are 122 degrees. So that's the direction we want to be going. That's basically we want to turn around. It's probably about there. That's kind of where we want to go. So you can see here what we're going to do is taxi forward here. And I think if we turn off the amphibious setting here, the aircraft is going to start going forward. So that just kind of keeps you held in your current position. So I've got my rudders down here. You can see that's going to allow me to taxi out. See, we've got our little whitewash here. Because what we want to do is just be able to get some speed up so we can get out of here, because we're essentially going to turn around. We need enough run up to get out of here. What other switches we got down here? We've got nav lights if we wanted them, pitot heat, and landing lights and pulse lights. Don't know if we actually need all those here on the water, but got our map lights here. Very cool. See our nice road that we have here in XPlane that kind of goes along the water there. We've got some cars travelling around. As our cylinder head temperature here is coming good. It's rising. So Pete, who actually developed this aircraft, he's done some custom programming for the starter and that sort of thing. So sometimes things don't work exactly the same. Like the starter switch I have mapped to my throttle quadrant, but that doesn't actually work as in normal, it normally would. So that's something to be aware of. Let's just see how far away we are. Just want to try and give us enough run up because we need to get going over there. So we could do all the usual things like the magneto checks and all that sort of thing, but we're not going to actually do that today. We know how that sort of works, so it's more about just enjoying a little flight. Now, I didn't actually check my takeoff speeds, but flap selected down for takeoff. It's probably going to be around this 60 something here, I'm assuming. I had to take a guess, because I didn't actually check that. Does it have any... compass card? We've got our temperature here. It's quite warm. What is it, about 18 degrees? It's pretty nice weather here. British Columbia, and I seem to have done a few episodes here as well. Just coincidence, but this definitely is the most appropriate place, I think. Alright, let's turn ourselves around. Really, probably should have this leaned out if we were just going at this speed. Let's have a little look around, make sure there's no one here to run into. That should give us enough room, I hope, to get some speed up. Planes and water, what more could you ask for? Seriously. So we kind of want to be heading in this direction, actually. Around 122. Push all this forward. Weird views here. Oh, it's a barge. Alright, so we're up in the air pretty easily. It's nice. I'm going to bring this prop back a little bit and get this back into the green. Manifold pressure. Just to be able to get some height to get over these mountains, so. I don't know, maybe I should have had those runners up. I'm going to put them up now, and the see, the cylinder heads are getting quite warm. Still climbing at an alright rate. Alright, I'm going to put my flaps up. Start to lean out my aircraft a little bit. Okay, I think we're looking pretty good. Got the green livery here. There is a few other liveries that we can use. I love the amphibious look here. Got a bit of a pretty high terrain here to get over, so jump out and have a look. So we'll check out all the different views from here while we're just trying to get around here. So you can see this is really cool. The way these ropes kind of just move, even though they're a bit stiff, but still pretty cool. The tail, belly, left side, and the right side. Okay, so we're going to keep climbing, and we're going to sort of getting a little bit off course here. Oh, we're actually doing alright, so we just want to go in this direction. So this is one of the rivers here that we need to be crossing, and we want to cross over another one. Make our way down to the channel. Okay, so the airport is actually coming up, so we're going to start slowing down. We've got quite a lot of altitude to lose. And you can see the airport is down here. So we do need to lose quite a bit of altitude. Probably started in a bit late. I've only done this trip maybe once. To pull this back, try and get some altitude down. Get ourselves in a better position. Otherwise we're going to be carrying way too much airspeed as we come in. We won't be able to slow this down. You can already see here we're dropping quite rapidly. Probably much faster than we would really want to do in real life. But lucky for us, this is a simulator and we get to pretend. Try and zigzag a little bit to try and give ourselves a little bit more distance to get our airspeed down. The elevation of this particular airport is only about 117. So start to slow down now. What I might do here is get my carb heat off. Look where our runway is, so we've just got to line up. Get our landing gear down. The landing gear lever is over here. Start getting all this back up. Alright, we're pretty good now. Let's line ourselves up. Now I'm probably a bit too low, but anyway. Ready for flaps 1. We don't have any PAPI lights or anything, so we'll just maintain about this altitude for a little bit. And we want to be about 70 knots, or 70 mile an hour I should say. And another set of flaps in. Apparently you're supposed to cycle the throttle. Back a little bit so I can try and stabilise my approach. I've got quite a bit of back pressure on the yoke here. Just trying to trim this a little bit. I'm getting rid of some of that airspeed. We're too high, but anyway, yeah, we're definitely coming in quite fast. Alright, maybe we might be okay. But look at our descent rate is quite fast, so I'm gonna have to float this. I made a bit of a mess of this and we don't want to bounce. Bit messy. We're down? We're down? I think we're down. Good. Carb ice suspected, so we've got a carb ice warning. That should do that. Oh well, we did make it. We didn't bounce, so that was good. Not the most ideal landing ever, but definitely did make it. Okay, let's try and slow down here. Oh, too much airspeed, too much speed. Alright, let's go around. Use the rest of the runway. Let's get our flaps up. see here, this is Bella Coola as part of the inside package. Inside package, I should really say it's inside passage. Okay. Let's turn out landing lights off. I'm trying to focus on what I'm doing here. Which one of them? Where is the landing lights? I lost my landing lights, pulse lights. Okay, nav lights will turn out. Beacon lights should still be on. We can just turn these lights off. Maybe Peter here we can turn off as well. Probably should have had the boost pump on. But anyway, here we are. We're off the runway. And here we are. So we've actually made it, which is kind of cool. It's pretty cool scenery here. The little smoke puffs coming out of the shed. Oh, we don't want to hit anything there. So there you have it. There's the SoulMade Simulations Beaver. It is really a beautiful aircraft. I really like this aircraft. You can see how that all works there. A little listen to that engine. So now we can actually put the parking brake on, like so. Jump out the front here. Oops, that's not the view I want. We'll get out the front here and have a little look. Very nice. Pilot's ready to go home. He's happy. We're happy. We made it safely. We made it in one piece. And there you have it. SoulMade Simulations DHC Beaver. And beautiful aircraft. I really like this. And it really isn't very much money at all for such a well done aircraft. So props to Pete from SoulMade Simulations. Hope you liked this episode, everyone. We'll be back for more with something soon, and probably a PC build. Now if you've got through watching the video this far and you're interested in seeing me put together my new PC build, which will be coming soon, I'm going to be doing it in a few different stages, but I'm going to be building a bit of a higher end machine than what I have now. And if you'd like to see what that looks like and you want to see it on this channel, let me know right in the comments and let me know what you want to see. But it's going to be a 2011 chipset CPU socket type, and it's going to be quite a machine. Not going to be super high end, but it's going to be quite good. Anyway, let me know what you think. Thanks everyone for watching. All the new subscribers, welcome, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Have a great week.